Ever pondered over what makes a path easy or difficult, and why does it matter in our spiritual journey? Let's embark on this exploration by delving into the book of Matthew, specifically chapter 7, verses 13 to 20. These verses present to us a profound and timeless concept, one that speaks volumes about our spiritual journey. It's the concept of two paths, one broad, the other narrow. Imagine a wide open road, basking in the sun's warmth, fringed with lush greenery and fragrant flowers. This, my friends, symbolizes the broad path. It's appealing, isn't it? It's easy, it's comfortable, and it's tempting. It's filled with worldly pleasures and instant gratification, but alas, it's a path that leads to destruction. It's a path that veers us away from the essence of our spiritual journey. Now let's visualize the narrow path. It's not as inviting as the broad one. It's rugged, it's challenging, and it's difficult. It's a path where the sun's warmth may not reach, where the flowers may not bloom. It's a path that demands perseverance, integrity, and faith. But here's the beauty of it. This narrow path, though daunting at first glance, leads to life. It leads to spiritual growth, to wisdom, and to a deeper understanding of our purpose. These two paths serve as metaphors for the choices we make in life. The broad path represents the easy choices, the ones that offer immediate rewards but lack long-term value. On the other hand, the narrow path symbolizes the difficult choices, the ones that may not be instantly gratifying but hold immense value for our spiritual growth. So, we arrive at a crossroads. We must ask ourselves, are we walking on the path of instant gratification, or are we bravely treading the path of spiritual growth? Are we succumbing to the temptations of the broad path, or are we steadfastly navigating the challenges of the narrow path? So, which path do you think you're walking on? Diving deeper into the scripture, it's not just about choosing the right path, but also about recognizing the false prophets. The scripture cautions us that not all who appear holy are indeed so. This is a stark reminder to remain vigilant and discerning. In the latter part of the scripture, Matthew warns us of false prophets who may appear to us in sheep's clothing. The sheep's clothing symbolizes the pretense of righteousness and piety. They may seem harmless, even benevolent, but beneath that facade, they are ravenous wolves. These wolves represent the danger of deceit and corruption. They seek to lead us astray from the narrow path of truth and righteousness. False prophets may use eloquent words, perform great signs and wonders, and even profess to do all these in the name of the Almighty. But we must be wary, for their aim is not to lead us to salvation, but to mislead us, to distort the truth, and to take us away from the path that leads to life. Discernment then becomes our greatest weapon against these false prophets. It is through discerning wisdom that we can see beyond the superficial and recognize the true nature of these individuals. Discernment is not about being judgmental, but about being wise. It involves perceiving the underlying intentions and recognizing whether they align with the teachings of Christ. It is also crucial to remember that actions speak louder than words. A good tree, as the scripture says, cannot bear bad fruit, just as a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. This metaphor reminds us that a person's actions, more than their words, reveal their true character. If their deeds do not reflect the love and teachings of Christ, then they are like a bad tree bearing bad fruit. In conclusion, understanding the scripture involves not just following the path of righteousness, but also being able to discern the truth from the deceit. It calls for wisdom and vigilance to recognize and avoid the false prophets in our midst. Remember, a good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Now that we have a better understanding of the scripture, how do we apply this in our everyday life? The beauty of Scripture is that it is not merely a collection of ancient texts, but a living guide that speaks to us, helping us navigate the complexities of our contemporary world. The teachings of Matthew 7:13-20, for instance, are rich with practical wisdom that can be applied to our everyday lives. We're told of two paths, the broad and the narrow. The broad path, often the most attractive, is filled with the allure of instant gratification and the illusion of an easy life. But it's the narrow path, the one less traveled, that leads to life. It may be filled with trials and tribulations, but it is in these challenges that our character is refined. So, as we make decisions, let's strive to choose the narrow path, the way of truth, even when it's not the most comfortable or convenient option. Then there's the warning about false prophets. In today's context, these could be the voices that promise quick fixes or those that distract us from our true purpose. They come in many forms: media, society, even well-meaning friends and family. but we are urged to be discerning, to look beyond the surface, to judge them by their fruits. Are their words and actions in line with the principles of love, truth, and justice? If not, they may not be the prophets we should be following. Finally, we're taught about the importance of bearing good fruits. This is a call to action, a reminder that our lives should be a testament to the values we uphold. It's not enough to merely believe in truth. We must also live it out. In our interactions with others, in our work, in our personal growth, are we bearing good fruits that reflect the love and grace we've received? The way of truth might not be the easiest, but it's the one that leads to life. The journey may be challenging, but the destination is worth it. So let's press on, let's persevere, let's walk the narrow path, discern the true prophets, and bear good fruits in our lives. In our journey towards spiritual growth, we're bound to face challenges and temptations. It's a journey not for the faint-hearted, but for those brave souls who dare to tread the narrow path. We've explored today the profound wisdom of Matthew chapter 7. It reminds us of the significance of choosing the narrow gate, the path less traveled, laden with trials, but leading to life. The scripture also underscores the importance of discernment. In a world full of false prophets, we must be vigilant, discerning the truth from the falsehood by their fruits. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Our actions, our fruits, are the true measure of our faith. As we conclude, let's carry these truths in our hearts, striving to walk the challenging path, remaining discerning, and consistently producing good fruits. Thanks for tuning into the worship experience. Until next time, stay blessed and keep praying.